All right, so here's just review on some concepts you're going to need going into this section. The first one is combining like terms, so we can add or subtract terms with the same variables. If they're listed on top of each other or vertically versus horizontally, the only big thing is make sure that the sign to the left of the term goes with that sign. So in this case, we have a 4x and a negative 2x. We can combine those, 4 minus 2 or 4 plus a negative 2, which would then combine to just 2x. 5x and a negative 2x would combine to a positive 3x, so you just do 5 minus 2. And again, you're just looking for the terms that are the same. Negative 2 plus 3 would give us 1y, and negative 10 and negative 3, when we add those together, you would get a negative 13y. So use your calculators. That makes sure you're identifying the ones that have the same variable to know that those are the ones you would combine. Again, just more practice. Go ahead and do these and check your answers as you go. So negative 4x plus 4x, that just equals 0. Negative 5x plus 5x, that also equals 0. 2 minus 2, you see a pattern there. And then 10 plus 3 would be 13, and then y. You don't have to put the x here. So basically what we're going to be getting to is like, we find ones that cancel out, they equal 0, so then you can just really don't have to write anything. You don't have to write 0x, it just goes away. All right, the next thing to review is distributing. So not only distributing, just doing the box method, but like when it's within a problem. All right, so here's just a review from first trimester or the beginning of the year. How we would do that. So you see within here we have the parentheses, and this negative goes with the 2. So really what you're doing is this problem. This is that box method that we would use where you put the 3x and the 4 up here, the negative 2 out here. So 2 times negative 3 is negative 6x. Negative 2 times 4 is negative 8. So we can write these right there, and we bring down our original 4x, and then we're doing what we did on the previous page where we're combining like terms. So 4 and a negative 6 combines to a negative 2x, and then we have our negative 8. So that would be the final answer there. We can't go any further. So go ahead and try these, maybe pause it, and then check your answers as we go. So over here, you could box method, or you can just do the distributive property where you do 5 times 2x, which is 10x, 5 times 1, which is a positive 5, and then we bring down the negative 7x. And then our like terms, we have a 10x and a negative 7x, so 10 minus 7, or 10 plus a negative 7, would give us 3x, and we bring down the plus 5. That would be the final answer for that one. Over here, I'll do the box method on this one. So we have a 3x and a 4, and this negative 2 comes out here. Remember to include that negative. That's the biggest thing, the biggest mistake that I see. So 2 times 3, or negative 2 times 3, which would be negative 6x. Negative 2 times 4 would be negative 8. So we have the negative 6x and the negative 8, and we're bringing down this 4x here. 4x is like terms with negative 6. That becomes negative 2x minus 8. I think that was x. That was your sample problem. Whoops. Put it twice, but anyway, should be able to do it. So there's our 2 answers there. Here we're distributing the 3, so if I do the box, 3 on the outside, 5x and 2 on top, so 15x and 6. So that would be, I'm going to bring this x down first, so we have our x plus 15x plus 6. So our like terms here will be the positive 1x, positive 15, which would be 16x plus 6. So that would be our final answer there. So again, distributing and combining like terms and distributing when it's within the problem. We're going to be doing a lot of that in this next section, so we have to be good at that. The next step is solving multi-step equations, and this is also when there are variables on both sides. So your steps are listed here from beginning of the year. Clearly, we kind of skipped this one because you guys are good with using fractions and calculators. But we would distribute, then combine like terms, then we put our constants, which are our numbers without a variable on one side, and our variable terms on the opposite side of the equation. And then we multiply or divide to get a negative or get a positive variable by itself. So you can really start with any term you want, 2x, 4, 5x, negative 6. And a lot of you guys like to look at the negative, so you would add 6 here. That would be your first step. So we go to the other side of the equation and add 6. All right, if we're doing this step by step, then I would have 2x on this side. This would become 4 or 10, a positive 10, equals 5x. Of course, the negative 6 and 6 is 0. And now the x terms here, so I want to get rid of this x on this side. So you do that by subtracting. Remember, you're just going to add and subtract a bunch of times until you get constants on one side, variables on the other. So this would be 0 here, and then 10 equals 5 minus 2 would be 3x. All right, and then we could divide by 3 as our last step. So x equals, and we can change it to a decimal, 10 divided by 3 would be 3.3 repeating. Or you can just leave it as 10/3. Either way. All right, so problem number 2. Again, pause these as you go, and then you can watch me work through them. So here I have to distribute this negative just like we did on the previous problems. So I have a 4x, and then what's going to be next, I'll just box it over here, negative 2. You don't have to do the box method, but I know a lot of you like to. So this would be negative 6x, and then negative 2 times 4 would be negative 8. So negative 6x, negative 8 equals 10. So I'm going to combine these like terms to start. So 4x and negative 6 would be negative 2x minus 8 equals 10. And over here I have the variable term here, no variable term here. So let's get rid of this negative 8 by adding 8. And then you rewrite again. Negative 2x on the left side, those go away. 18 here, last step, divided by negative 2. 18 divided by negative 2 gives us negative 9. And over here, we're going to distribute the 5 within here. So I'm just going to do it this way without the box. Do the box if you need to. 5 times 2x is 10x. 5 times 1 is a positive 5. Bring down that negative 7 equals 4. So from here you can combine like terms on the left side just to simplify that. So I would do a positive 5 and a negative 7. That's going to be negative 2, so 10x negative 2 equals 4. No variable over here, but variable over here, so let's get rid of this negative 2. Add 2 to both sides. 10x equals 6. I get x by itself, divided by 10. We're dividing is always going to be our last step, pretty much. So x equals, you can call this 3 over 5 or 0.6. When you type that into your calculator, either one is fine. You can go ahead and use decimals for a lot of these. It might help out with the other assignments, but either way, it doesn't matter. All right, so here is just like the first problem for number 4. We don't have to distribute anything, so now we just have to get x terms, either the left or right side, and the whole numbers on either the left or right side opposite of the x term. So again, depending on where you want to start, we see a negative 11, so again, that usually stands out to people that you have to add that to both sides. So if you do that, make sure you add it to the 9, not the 7x. They're not like terms, can't do that. So 5x on this side equals 7x, and this would be plus 20. And now I have an x term here, an x term here, constant here. So let's get rid of this x term for the same side of the constant. Oops, x. 5 minus 7 is going to give us negative 2x. Then we divide by negative 2. And that gives us x equals 20 divided by negative 2 is negative 10. Oops. Okay, next page, what we got? Substitution. All right. Again, this is where we're putting things into parentheses. So if we're substituting x equals 4 into this, we have y equals 6 times 4 minus 2. And you type that directly into your calculator. So you can just, don't forget, just put all in as you see it. This is a basic calculator, unlike the ones you guys are using. So you would actually put 6 and then parentheses 4, but I have to put times 4 in this calculator, minus 2, and it gives you 22. All right, so you're substituting it in parentheses each time you see it, and these are, again, pretty basic to start. And then type it in as you see it. This will be negative 14 plus 5, which will give us positive 9 as we type that in. So again, negative 2 times 7 plus 5 equals our, negative 9. So I check it on my calculator. Over here, we have y equals 2. So we would have 2x plus 3 times 2 equals 8. And we're going to solve for x, obviously, here because I give you the y. So this will be 2x plus 6 equals 8. And now we're at a two-step problem. Subtract 6 from both sides. 8 minus 6 is 2, divided by 2. X equals 1. And then here I give you y again here, so we're going to put that in for this y. So 4x, minus 2 times negative 3 equals 14. So we're going to simplify this part first. So again, we have our negative 2 times negative 3. So we want to make sure we type that into our calculator. That's going to give us a positive 6. All right, then we can subtract 6 from both sides, and we should be rolling from here. 14 minus 6 is going to give us 8, divided by 4, x equals 2. All right, and that is it. So those are just some review things that we are going to have to be efficient at. This is all part of what we are going to be doing in this next section. We'll be setting up problems, and then we'll have to be doing this type of work to eventually solve with what we need to do.